Blink. Good morning. I put rubber cement in my hair. Two, three, four. Ba beep ba 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 ba. Do that ba 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 ba. Beat it ba boop ba ba ba. It's Saturday and I'm late. Sorry. Don't tell my boyfriend. Picks of the week, sort of. So, wouldn't you know it, I once again have found myself in a bit of a precarious financial situation. Oh, not as bad as it was maybe 2 months ago, but I'm now again way behind in my comics. Plus, it's like last week was Thanksgiving, so there was a day of work that I missed, and holiday pay. What are you kidding me? And but really, it's just become that thing of where I start working in a comic shop, and I just immediately start over like every book that I look. Like I'll be going through my main job. If I haven't explained this, my main job at the comic shop is back issue manager. Ooh, that's the second manager title I hold. I am still a poor person. So there's a whole a room not much bigger than this studio, full of stock that he's not gone through. And so my job, and none of them are in order, so I have to it's very time consuming, and also my favorite thing in the world. I alphabetized 4 long boxes of comic books yesterday, and it took me 6.5 hours, and it went like that. And I mean, that's really the main reason I have this job. The only thing I like as much as I like comic books is collecting comic books, and by that I mean organizing them and putting them into the lists and putting them into stacks. And this is this over here. I do it at home. Why not also be paid for it? The downside, obviously, is as I'm going through all these back issues, I'm like, oh, I need, oh, I'll take that. So yeah, I got a big stack in my locker uh, that I'm just going to be kind of, because then also rent was due this week, obviously, so that's put a bit of a dent into my comic book line. This is all to say that, and then also, yeah, I mean, I'm doing this on Saturday morning, even though it's not Wednesday. I had, but I had comedy joke shows the last 2 nights, so I also couldn't really do much about that. So I still have a big stack to read, but for this week I only picked these two. This is Aquaman Green Arrow, Aquaman slash Green Arrow colon Deep Target, and boy, is Aquaman gay or what? I will get to that. These are written by, let's see, Brandon Thomas, whose name I've been seeing around a lot, and I might. Well, I guess I can just look it up now, but I don't think I've read anything by him. I want to say he's relatively new on the scene. Oh, he's got. They have hardware down here, but I don't know if that's is that right. And he's writing the current. Oh, so he's written a couple Aquaman things. That was live film. Yeah, it looks like I've read a couple things this fella has written, but not enough to really say one way or the other. Excuse me. I think he is writing hardware currently, and that has been good. Although I think I've only read the first couple issues, but the current Aquaman does not currently have a series. The last time I was reading Aquaman was a couple years ago when Dan Abnett was writing, and then he left the book, and Kelly Sue DeConnick took over, and I haven't gotten to her run yet because and she's written stuff that I like, but she's also written stuff that I didn't like at all. So anyway, and then that series ended, and now there is currently a series that I think Brandon Thomas is also writing called Aquaman: The Becoming, but that stars not Arthur Curry, but the other Aquaman, the former Aqualad, whose name I cannot remember now. I shouldn't be just doing this. Current Aquaman, though, is the son of Black Manta, who is one of Aquaman's enemies. This is taking up too much time. One of Aquaman's nemesis is Black Manta, and Aqualad, now Aquaman. It was revealed, I think it was just last year, in fact, that Black Manta is his real father. He had been raised by his mother and his stepfather, but he thought it was his real dad. And then I think it was the thing, if I remember right, and this is a story that I read probably a year or so ago, maybe even just earlier this year. The kid knew he had water powers. His mom did not want him like on Young Justice or being a superhero because she was afraid he would find out that Black Manta was in fact his father. Arthur Curry, the traditional Aquaman, kind of took him under his wing. And then I don't remember when he came out. I think it was just earlier, a couple months ago. There's a miniseries going right now called Aquaman the Becoming, but it stars that Aquaman, who again, whose name I said I can't remember. And I was, when I saw the title listed so in the solicits, I was like, oh, good, a new Aquaman series. But it wasn't Arthur Curry, and so I was like, nah. It's not the gay thing, although I sound like I'm defending my being defensive. The fact that he's gay, I got no problem with. It's certainly not the first gay character in superheroes. I mean, frankly, if you get right down to it, superheroes as a concept are super gay. But just that it wasn't Arthur Curry, who I is my Aquaman. You know, when they killed Wolverine and they kind of replaced him with X-23 and with Daken, who are like his children, I was fine with it because it's Wolverine and it's Marvel, and I'll just read anything they publish. But when it comes to DC stuff, I'm like, oh, if you're going to change something, I'll just bail and I'll come back when it's interesting to me again. Long way to go to get to this. So while they're running that series, I think for old farts like me, they're doing this mini series, a 7-issue series, where Aquaman and Green Arrow team up to deepen a target hunt. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Aquaman's been really great the last. I mean, I kind of come in and out, but for the last 10 years, good stuff. I mean, he's my favorite member of the Justice League, and that's why I chose him in Green Arrow's title for picks of the week. Now we go to picks of last week. You forgot the flourish. These are the only 3 books I got to read from this last haul, but great stuff all around. First up, we have this Black Panther. There was something in particular I wanted to know, but exactly what I was saying last week, that Ridley is really good at writing um, an action-packed book. And so, of course, yeah, we see T'Challa back with the Avengers, and in fact, the Avengers are like, "You're supposed to be the leader." Captain America, in particular, is like, "You're the leader. You've been the leader of the Avengers." It kind of glossed over the fact that he was lost in space for the better part of the year, but that's superhero comics continuity for you. Oh, that's what this was. So I'll get back to that. In this storyline, we find out that T'Challa, over the years, has put Wakandan agents into the field. That is to say, deep undercover in other countries on the chance that any threats to the security of Wakanda pop up in these countries. These sleeper agents can take care of it. But now someone is hunting these sleeper agents down, so T'Challa is forced to go bring them in out of the cold himself. This is obviously going to create, because now with the new government of Wakanda, it's no longer just a monarchy. There is now a parliament, so the people have a voice. But he's immediately bored with all the politics, which brings me. I don't know that Ridley is being a wise guy here, but I know that this is how I chose to read it, because this is kind of how I felt. There's a big scene in the parliament of Wakanda, and the prime minister is going on at length about it, and there's all these other voices, people wanting their issues addressed, and T'Challa's just like, I want to go punch guys. And I was like, thank you. I feel like it's like a the first the first issue of this new series is kind of saying, okay, now that we have the government of Wakanda straightened out, let's get to some action. And so that's what we have. Hooray! So yeah, really good stuff. Very much looking forward to that. Also, last week I read the Hulk #1. This was also exactly what I wanted. This did not have the fight with MODOK in it that I talked about. I guess that was just for that free comic book day issue. But the core premise in this run of the Hulk now is that the Hulk himself is not the monster. Bruce Banner is in fact the monster. And Bruce Banner is now using his evil genius to fight more smartly, I guess is the word I want. He has the look at this spread. Come on. That's some hot shit. Right. So Bruce has got the Hulk under control in his own mind, and he is currently in the Hulk's body with Bruce's brain, but Bruce is out of his mind. So we're not given a roadmap like with the Ridley series, but we are. It's like this is not going to be. This is one of those ones where Bruce is the bad guy, and it's not the first time. In fact, the Immortal Hulk kind of did that as well. Although the Immortal Hulk really made it clear that it was his father, Brian, and the leader conspiring to really make his life a living hell. Although it's all it is. But now that he's come through that other side, he went to hell and back. So now he's like, I'm going to be the strongest one. Bruce Banner is. I'm one of the smartest men on Earth. He's like in the top 10 smartest people on Earth in the Marvel Universe. So there's a lot of, he has a big fight with Iron Man and his Hulkbuster armor. It's a lot of fun. Very much looking forward to that as well. Another riveting episode of Wednesday. I just had a very busy week, so I do feel like I'm phoning it in a little bit here. But I'm getting my booster shot today, so hopefully I've got tomorrow cleared. And if I'm not feeling too terrible, I can get some reading in. I also read Joy Operations #1. This was really, really good too. Very Bendis-y. A lot of narration, but not unlike Chris Claremont. It's very snappy. But we have our hero is. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Lazarus, which was a Greg Rucka book, where in the future, I might be confounding these two, but in the future, there's only 5 or 6 sort of ruling capitalist families, and they have a clonable sort of bodyguard that can not, if they get killed, then they can come back. Similar to that, where we have this evil Cruella de Vil type in charge of this future city-state, and she has Joy is like her envoy, they call her. But Joy, as this envoy, is currently being communicated with by a strange voice, which turns out to be the leader of a rebellion. So I think it's going to go along those lines. A future utopia, or is it? It's not. It rarely is. So yeah, it was good. It was great reading Bendis stuff again. Oh, and he had a thing in the back. I think I even wrote an email like, hey, this is really good. Keep it going. Oh, because they are bringing all of Jinx World to Dark Horse. So they're going to be reprinting. So that means I can get stuff like Torso, which I still haven't read. I could get Pearl, which I did read. United States of Murder Inc., though, I never did get to read that. Or cover. So yeah, I don't know. Like, Bendis is right up in the back. He is still writing. He is currently... I was saying last week I wasn't sure how much work he was doing at DC. He is currently writing the Justice League, which is kind of a big deal. But it does really feel like, as opposed to when he was at Marvel and was like the head writer, he's now kind of like an emeritus writer where they're going to give him Justice League, which is one of their biggest books. But that's about it. I think he might still be doing Legion. He might still be doing Young Justice, which he does say in the back that Legion was one of his bucket list books. Which, again, I haven't ever read, so I don't know much about. But it does feel like his move to Dark Horse here is not angry, but just like, I need to make sure that I have my own stuff. And taking all the Jinx World stuff, which had been, I mean, it feels like just the way the market is these days is that DC was like, you're not moving books like we thought your name was going to, which is like shades of Jack Kirby. But rather than storming back to Marvel, Bendis is like, well, I'll just go to Dark Horse then, because he lives in Portland. I'm sure he's well known up there, which is also where Dark Horse is located, and so it's like more like a hometown thing. That's Pixel. But yeah, that's all I really got. I just kind of want to. I got to get back to work, frankly, and then I got to get a booster shot, which you should all do. Also, all of you, meaning my dad, who I think is the only person who really watches it. Okay then. Bye.